Good morning, believers. Good morning. I decided to do another message. It's the weather and the waves are. We're not having the weather we expected. It was supposed to be sunny and nice up here, and it wasn't. But anyhow, I'm not going to wear that. You're just going to have to deal with it. The wild hair. Anyhow. So I've been listening to a guy. These rapture people. I'm not going to give you the name because I don't think he's worth your time. So I'm going to try and say this the best I can without, I don't know, messing you guys up, making you think that I'm just being contradictory or being a smart ass or something, but a lot of people. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, bless my brothers and sisters today that hear this message. Give me and my friends peace today. We didn't expect it to be like this, so we're kind of just bumming around, waiting for the weather to clear up and maybe go surf. Give us patience in a time together that's peaceful and nice. Let this message reach my brothers and sisters who are listening. Amen. So, this guy, I think his name's Dave Kroll or something like that. You don't really need to go there, I don't think. He did get me thinking though. He was talking about the feast days. Passover, Yom Kippur, and the feast, the harvest feast, barley, is Passover. I'm not real familiar with the feasts. I didn't come out of a Jewish background, even though I'm Israel. I just remember always being around the temple already. So whenever I think of the feast days, it kind of triggers me a little bit. I've finally realized that it's all right for me to look at them. I like Purim the best. That one I can relate to, but Pentecost and Tabernacles, it is what it is. It's a spiritual time to think about certain things, and when they come up, I think about those things like Tabernacles, atonement. So you start trying to atone for the nonsense you did during the year and try and think about how you're going to be better the next year. And it's kind of a time of reflection. And Pentecost, of course, makes us think about being indwelt, the beauty of the resurrection and being indwelt. But this guy was talking about, I had never heard it before, so I looked it up. It's called Shalosh Regulim, Regirum, Shalosh, Shalosh Regulim, and it talks about, that means triad. So I think what maybe the Christian church did is they took that number 3 theme, that triad theme, and they turned it into the Trinity. They changed a monotheistic religion. They changed Judaism into Christianity with this. My hair's a mess. Oh well. There you go. Yeehaw. So I started looking into the scriptures that have to do with this Shalosh Regulim. It means three triad regimen. So the Regime means it's a regimen. You go and you do these feasts. It's something you have to do. It's something that's in your regimen, right? And what's interesting for me is my last name is Deloche. And Deloche means of the fish. So Shalosh means triad. Because it's interesting, the loach fish has 3 different colors. Black, white, and orange, or black, white, and blue. You can look them up. It's a loach fish. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that too much. It was just interesting because it's Shalosh. And it makes me wonder where my name came from, Deloche. But so I pulled up some scriptures about this Shalosh Regulim, this triad, and I looked into it, and it had a lot to do with when Balaam tried to curse Israel, and it turned around, and these three curses. I didn't write it down. I didn't get too into it, but it was the fact that he tried to get us to break this festival. He tried to get us to break the festival. He tried to get us to turn away from spending time with God. And so, see, these things don't really interest me because it's a Christian, what would you call it? It's a congregation of different ideas mixed together. So this guy was trying to bring this Shalosh Regulim into that rapture doctrine. And I'm like, I didn't find anything about rapture doctrine when I looked it up because it's purely Israelite feasts. And Tony Williams tries to do the same thing. And I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying, think about this. You might want to look it up. It's like, I don't know if these people have been trying to put it together that way or it actually fits together that way. I'm going to have to look into it more. I've heard a lot of different stories and I've studied a lot of different things, but this one is like, I don't see how it ties in with the harvest. Sure, the festivals were a time of harvest. So you would know when it's time to go worship during these times because you were either planting the harvest, pulling the harvest, or bringing the harvest in. It was during these time frames. So he linked it to the gathering. So there's 3. That's the triad. There's 3 main feasts. So you could say first coming, second coming, rapture or something. I don't know, harvest. I don't know. So what I went to, there was a couple different places. Anywhere where you see 3 or 13 or 3 and 13, or it's all about the 3. So it could be 13. It could be like in here it says 3 and 20th year. So I'm going to read through this because it's in Jeremiah, and so this is Judah. Judah ignores warnings of prophets. So I've done this before, and I've warned these black Hebrew Israelites. If they're Judah, they got some looking around to do, because they're missing a big. There was a big bunch of warnings against these fuckers, and they're not hearing them. They're part of this Shalosh Regulim that this guy's talking about was about not having pride. It was part of it was breaking your pride. One of the feasts is about not being arrogant. So let me just read this, and then I'll give you an idea of what I'm thinking about. Is we have a lot of people. This guy, some people are trying to be too smart for their own good, and they don't explain what they're saying. Because when I looked up Shalosh Regulim, it's totally Jewish. It has nothing to do with rapture. So I don't know what he's trying to. These rapture people are trying to be like Jewish scholars and Christian scholars at the same time. I'm a Christian Jew, and I don't see it. I don't believe that the rapture. It's not the way they think it is. But anyhow, let me read this. Jeremiah 25:1. The word that came to Jeremiah, remember he's a Benjamite, concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, and was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, the which Jeremiah the prophet spoke unto all the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, from the 13th year of Josiah, son of Ammon, king of Judah. So there's that triad right there. He's going, from that time, that was a triad. That was all about us. So this 3 and 13, it's not Trinity, people. It's triad. It's the feast of Judaism. It's us knowing who we are. Right? Pentecost, Purim, Tabernacles. I'm not a feast guy. I never came up under Judaism, so even my Jewish friend, he's not all about the feast days either. That it's almost like that's past. But we remember it because when those times come up, we know it's time to think about Purim. We think about Esther. We think about the way she stood up for her people. The Benjamite stood up for her people. That's the one I like, because I know I have to stand up for you guys. I have to stand up for myself. I have to stand up for the people of God. That's what I do. Atonement. I got to atone for the shit that I've caused. And I have to get better next year. I have to listen to God. Pentecost. We're going to be able to hear. Do we need to add all this other stuff into it? Keep it simple, stupid. It says, from the 13th year of Josiah, son of Ammon, king of Judah. So it says it, and then it says, even unto this day, that is the 3 and 20th year, the word of the Lord has come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but you have not hearkened. So, to me, what this guy is doing is he's making it clear that there's certain people that you should be listening to that actually know it's not about the rapture. They know it's not about this Christianity thing. Sure, the church is going to be pulled up because they have to be. Lord said he was going to, if they believed on him, they were going to get plucked up with him. But these guys think that they're like some kind of special free pass. The free pass they're getting is they don't have to know anything, really. They just have to believe in God. That's the free pass. They haven't had to go through the shit that Judah and Benjamin has gone through. You understand? But you haven't listened, and the Lord has sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, but you have not hearkened nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, turn ye again now every one from his evil way and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord has given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. That's what it's talking about. That's why these 13s, 3 and 13 and 3 and 20 years, he's saying, you guys have been doing this for a long time. You're not new to this. Why are you believing in rapture? Why are you believing in the Trinity? Why are you believing in like the nonsense black Hebrew Israelites that Joseph is the father of Jesus? What happened here? And now here I am trying to straighten these guys out and say, I don't think so, guys. I don't know. You might want to look into this. You're going off, but everyone's proud. They want to talk about this Shalosh Regulim and that it's about some harvest. They want to talk about the Jewish side of it, but then they bring in rapture and it's I don't see it. And go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. What's he saying? He's saying, you gotta keep it simple and remember who you are. He's talking to Israel. He's not really talking to the church right here. I just pulled this one up because I wanted to see what exactly they were talking about with this triad, this number 3. And it's all 3. Anywhere you see 3, that's the Shalosh Regulim. It's referring to the 3 main festivals of Judaism. Has nothing, I don't think it has anything to do with the harvest that they're talking about. It might tie in somehow because Pentecost and Feast of Tabernacles and Atonement and all that, Rosh Hashanah. I just think Christianity's jumping the gun on the whole thing. I think they've came up with their own silly ideas. And so I went to Esther. Let me see what I got. I don't have a whole lot of extra time, but it was all over the book of Esther. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto the princes and his servants. That's actually, what was interesting about Esther when I went there, the places where it was mentioned were in multiples of 3. It was chapter 3, or it was verse 3, or it was chapter 12, which is 4 3s. It was, yeah. Let's see. He sat on the throne in the 3rd year of his reign. There's the triad. I could probably, it was all over. It was all over this area here. What was it? Chapter 3. Anyway, I'm not gonna just keep looking until I find them. I'm gonna try and find one. At least one other one. Chapter 3, verse 1. Now every man's maid turn was to come into King Ahasuerus. After that she had 12 months, which is 4 3s. And for were the days of purification accomplished, to wit, 6 months, that's 2 threes, and 6 months, which is another 2 threes. Let's see. 10th month, 7th year. And the king made a great feast unto all the princes and their servants, even Esther's feast, which is Purim. He made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, that's 2 of the king's chambers, 2, 2. Let me see if I can find another 3 before I close out. There was a bunch of them when I was looking before, but I didn't write any of them down. I just saw one. Oh, then there were king's scribes. This is Esther 3:12, so that's 3, chapter 3, and then 12 is 4 threes, and then it says, then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the month, according to all that was written according to Haman. And the letters were sent by post unto all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month. Right? So there's that 3 again. Let's see if I can find one more and then we'll close out. So when you think of this over here, 30 days, but I have been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. There's that 3 again. So the 3 is the triad of the feasts. And I don't know how these guys want to connect it into the rapture. You're gonna get harvested if you understand what the feast days are for more than anything. Here it is right here, the courage of Esther. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court. Does that mean the 3rd harvest? Does that mean harvest? She put on her royal apparel on the 3rd day. See what I'm saying? The 3s, especially in Esther, very, very Hebrew book. So you guys might want to look up Shalosh Regulim and see what you find for yourself. If you want to dig into that and try and find out rapture, I might have to start going on the comment boards if you guys can find out something about that I don't know, but I think these guys are just pushing nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It's not making sense. It doesn't add up in my book. In my book's the Bible, so I'll load this one when I get back from camping. Shalosh Regulim. All right, guys, I'm out.